I got rejected in 8 interviews not because I was bad, but because I didn't know the 8 things I should have done before an interview. Around 65 to 70% of candidates get rejected for the same reason, but no one talks about this on social media. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 8 things you should do before attending an interview so that you won't end up in that 65 to 70% of candidates. It took me 8 rejections to learn this, but you will learn it in the next few minutes. So watch till the end. Alright, now let's talk about the first thing, that is not knowing the details of your own resume. The first section you add in your resume is the objective section. It is a short 1 or 2 sentence statement at the top of your resume that explains your career goal and the industry you are aiming for. But this is where many people make mistakes. Writing this is not a big problem today. Anyone can use GPT or Gemini to generate it, but the problem is not knowing what you have copied. One of my friends generated and copied the objective using AI, and the first question he faced in the interview was, "Tell me about your objective." Since he didn't write it by himself, he wasn't confident, he couldn't answer, and his entire interview got collapsed with just very first question. This doesn't only happen for the objective, it applies for everything you write in your resume. Whether it is a certification or project or internship or even a skill, if you are not confident about it, then don't add it at all. In case if your recruiters pick their first question from the part of your resume where you are weak, then your mind gets stuck, your confidence drops, and the rest of the interview gets spoiled. So only add things that you can explain clearly with full confidence. And also in an interview, you don't need to show that you know everything. You just need to show that you are capable of learning and adapting to their work environment. That's enough. Alright, now the second thing is not researching about the company. Freshers don't have a long professional background, so interviewers look for a small sign to judge you, like whether you took initiative to learn about their company. To know this, they will ask common questions like, why do you want to work here? What do you know about us? What value can you bring compared to others? You can answer these company-related questions properly only when you have done some basic research. Without research, your answer will sound too general, and also the interviewer assumes that you are just casting a wide net and don't care about that specific opportunity. Sometimes you may even say things that can go against their values. When you research about the company, you can also connect your projects and internships to the real problems that the company is working on. If you understand their products, clients, market and values, then you can match your answers to what they really care about. And this one single step separates you from the 80% of the candidates because no one does a proper research about the company they are going to attend an interview for. So the moment you show the basic understanding, you instantly stand out. And also there is another benefit. At the end of the interview, they will ask, do you have any questions for us? If you have done a proper research, then you can ask something thoughtful about the company. And this shows your interest and commitment. Now let's move to the most important thing, that is weaker self-introduction. The first question every interviewer asks is, tell me about yourself. And this is your chance to make a strong first impression. A weak answer can show your poor communication, lack of preparation, and make the interviewer to doubt you from the start of the interview. Also remember that this is the first piece of information that the interviewer collects about you. A confusing or disorganized answer immediately creates a negative impression and lowers the expectation for the rest of the interview. To avoid messing up with your self-introduction, let me tell you how to do it in the right way. First of all, understand that your self-introduction is like a mini pitch. It should quickly highlight 2 to 3 skills or experience to show that you are a right fit for that specific role and to that company. Don't start it like a biography, like I completed my schooling here or my parents' names are. None of that is needed here. Interviewers don't need your life story. If they want to know your background, then they will ask about it later in your interview. So don't waste your time by giving chronological history in the introduction. Actually, you can make a strong self-introduction using past, present, future formula. First, start your introduction with the past. Briefly mention the key projects or internship that relates to that job. Then go to the present and say what you are currently working on, like learning a skill or preparing for responsibilities for this role. And finally, end with the future. Show real enthusiasm for contributing your strengths to the company and tell them how you can add value to their team. When you introduce yourself on this way, you look very clear and confident. Now let me give you a simple example on how to give a self-introduction for a mechanical design engineer role so that you can get an idea and also you can write your own. I am Purselvan, a mechanical engineering graduate from XYZ Engineering College. During my degree, I learned the basics of design, product development and manufacturing processes. I also worked on projects like structural health monitoring system and a kitchen waste grinder, which gave me hands-on experience in designing and solving real-world problems. I have completed my internship and in-plant training at companies like ABC and DEF where I gained practical knowledge about production and manufacturing. Right now I'm focused on improving my design skills, especially in CAD modeling, product visualization and creating efficient designs. I'm familiar with tools like AutoCAD, SolidWorks, and FEA simulations, which help me make functional and optimized designs. In the future, I want to contribute to a design team where I can use my technical knowledge and problem solving skills to create innovative products that make real difference. So this is a short intro of mine. I tried to keep it simple and didn't add much. First, I introduced myself by saying my name, college and degree. Then I quickly talked about what I did in my college. I explained my projects and internships. If you have done any training or certifications, you can mention those too. After that, I talked about what I wanted to do and the skills I'm currently good at. And finally, I wrapped up by explaining why am I the right fit and tried to convince the interviewer. This is how you can give a great self-introduction about yourself and show your sincerity and interest in the role at their company. And now you create your own self-introduction using this past, present and future structure and practice it until you get familiar with it. This way you can confidently answer to the first question instead of saying something random that comes into your mind on the spot. Now let's move to the fourth thing, that is don't speak unwanted information in an interview. Most candidates get nervous and try to fill every silence. Because of that, they talk too much and share details the interviewer never asked for. And the most important point is, even a one sentence can change the entire direction of your interview. Remember that interviewers are working in a tight schedule. Some days they even interview hundreds of students. So they want answers that are clear, short and directly related to the questions. When you give unnecessary information, three things will happen. 1. You test their patience. 2. You look unprepared. 3. You open door for the difficult follow-up questions. And this is how I got rejected in one of the most important interview. Let me say how I got rejected. It was around 5 p.m. in my college. I had my test that day. I got shortlisted and went in for my interview. It was a mechanical company and they won't hire many people. So I knew that the competition would be higher. The interview started well. The first question was tell me about yourself. I answered it confidently. Then he asked me about my strengths and weaknesses. I managed that too. Then he asked me about my hobbies. This is where I messed up. I told him making videos and mentioned my channel. The moment he heard that, he opened my channel right there, and after that, my interview completely changed. And also he started to ask questions like why are you attending this interview when you have a YouTube channel, and why this job is more important for you than your channel, and what proof do we have that you will continue in your company in long term. So those kind of things he started to ask, and that one small unnecessary information collapsed the entire interview. In interviews, every word becomes a question for them. If you mention your project, they will dig into the project. If you mention your certification, they will check your knowledge. If you mention something personal, they will check your priorities. So when they ask about your hobbies, don't mention anything that takes more than 10 to 15 hours a week or something that could look like your main passion or income source. So if you get into a situation to tell your hobbies, then try this simple 3-step approach. First, briefly state the hobby in one single line, which is safe and straightforward, like I enjoy reading books. Next, immediately connect your hobby with a professional skill by adding a short benefit, like it is helping me to stay focused, or it is helping me to stay disciplined, or it is helping me to stay mentally clear. And stop there. Don't add any extra details or stories. This natural redirect keeps the answer short, safe, and prevent the interviewer from digging into the unnecessary areas and allows them to smoothly return to the job related questions. Now let me move to the fifth thing, that is preparing random things. If you are from a computer science related branch, then you can skip this point. If you are from core branch, then this is a very important point for you. During placements, core students attend both IT and core companies interviews. And because of that, they can't prepare using one generic strategy. If you try to mix everything, your preparation will become scattered and you will underperform in both. So you need two completely different approaches. For IT or software roles, you need to focus on building strong coding ability, fast problem solving skills, and basic understanding of data structures. But for core engineering roles, your preparation must shift towards fundamentals and practicality. Things like basic engineering principles, material science, physics, and hands-on project experience. So try to have two versions of resume for yourself, one for IT and another for core. The IT resume should highlight programming languages, data structures, algorithms, and software related projects. And core resume should emphasize fundamental engineering concepts like mechanics, circuits, and e-transfer along with project certifications and internships. And also many IT companies hire students from departments like mechanical and electrical for roles like software tester, web designer, technical support, and even for the positions like product development, where the work is related to hardware, automation, and design. In these interviews, you still need to be strong with your core engineering subjects, and also you should know the basics of coding, because these roles often involve logical thinking and handling of software tools. Just be ready to explain how your core engineering project shows your logical thinking, problem solving ability, and your systematic approach, which are exactly what these roles look for. Alright, now let's move to the sixth thing, that is ignoring your body language. You might give brilliant answers, have a strong resume, and prepare really well. But if your body language sends the wrong signals, the interviewer may reject you even before you finish speaking. Communication is not just what you say, it's also how you react. More than half of the message you give comes from non-verbal cues like your posture, eye contact, expression, and the way you enter and sit in the room. Everything conveys some message. This might sound a bit scary, and it may even feel like I'm overhyping the body language. But this is the reality. Some interviewers, especially the younger ones, might try to make you feel comfortable. But when a more experienced person is interviewing you, remember that he is observing everything quietly. They even watch the small signals that shows your confidence, attitude, and how you handle your pressure. If you look disinterested, closed off, or overly nervous, they immediately start doubting your confidence and your ability to work with a team. At that point, your marks, certificates, projects, and CGPA won't save you. They will still reject you if your body language is not good. What I mean by a good body language is very basic. Make steady eye contact, sit straight, use open hand gestures when you speak, and smile or nod occasionally when the interviewer is talking. That's it. Don't try to force it or make it look artificial. Just keep it natural. Now let's talk about the seventh thing, which actually causes all the previous things, that is getting too tensed. Feeling nervous before an interview is completely normal. It simply means that you care for that job. But when the tension becomes too much, it started to ruin your performance in your interview. When you are too stressed, your mind gets stuck, you forget what you prepared, you start to overshare, and your body language turns negative. Your hours of preparation can get wasted because of a 10-minute panic attack. The only way to avoid this is practice. You will definitely be asked to introduce yourself, so try to memorize your self-intro. It gives you some initial confidence and helps you to settle into the interview. And also, don't rush to answer. Take a second, breathe, think, then respond. If you don't know something, just say don't know. Don't try to make up an answer, because it will lead only to follow-up questions you can't handle, and that will make you even more nervous. And finally, the eighth thing is, don't expect to get selected in every interview. This is where many candidates unknowingly break themselves. Some people get selected in their first interview, some people get it in their second, and for some of us, it takes time. And honestly, that is the reason why I understood the interview process so deeply today. The person who gets selected in their first interview might get a job faster, but they also miss out on the learning and growth that the rejection forces you to face. Every interview teaches you something new, and every rejection is a redirection. These rejections will push you towards a path that is better for you. So don't walk into any interviews with expectations. Just go with the mindset of, I will give my best. And whatever happens, happens. This is how you can reduce pressure, stay calm, and give your best. It took me a lot of time, efforts, and rejections to learn this, but you learned them right here. The problem was not that you are bad. The problem was that you are not following these basics before your interview. Take a screenshot of this list and start applying it from your very next interview. And if this video helped you a little, then consider subscribing. It genuinely motivates me to bring more research and practical content for you. Also share it with your friends who needs this so they don't repeat the same mistakes we did. And I'm Purcell when I turn my journey into lessons for you. And that's it for this video. See you in the next one.